Adam Miguel Castaneda here, expert sergeant, expert life coach, recovery coach, and intervention professional. And I just want to say that if you're doing drugs, and anyone out there who's listening to this and you're doing drugs, whatever drugs, heroin, meth, weed, pills, anything you're smoking, injecting, or eating like a pill, I would argue that you don't care about your family. And I say that because it's really sad because a lot of people do lose their lives. But if you don't think that you lose your life and not be with your family anymore, that's a fallacy. That's a flawed thought. That's incorrect thinking. Chances are, with all the fentanyl out there, you could very well likely lose your life. 7 out of 10 people lose their lives due to laced fentanyl. 7 out of 10 pills are counterfeit with laced fentanyl, and weed, sometimes cigarettes, a lot of times pills that are counterfeit, sometimes in candy. In candy, fentanyl is actually being distributed in schools via candy. So you have to think about, if you truly love your family, what you're willing to give up. If you're willing to give up drugs for your family, to be sober, sane, competent, and be there for your loved ones, especially if you have kids, but especially for your siblings, your brothers and sisters, your parents, and if you're a foster kid, your friends, right? Your immediate support network, people that you care about. Okay, so if you are doing drugs and there's a risk, there's even a chance of you losing your life, how can you truly care about your family if you're taking that risk? It's just like doing something stupid. Heroin, people die from that. Pills, people are dying from that. Fentanyl, people are dying from that. Whether it's even 20 years, cigarettes, you're going to get lung cancer. Alcoholism, you're going to get cirrhosis of the liver and can die from that. And especially alcohol, that you can. There's a lot of domestic violence that's the cause of that. Abusing your kids, abusing your spouse, things like that. So, if you're drinking, doing drugs, pills, smoking things, whatever, with all the fentanyl out there, and how can you really care about your family? How can you be that positive, outgoing, charismatic, positive individual? To be there to support your family spiritually, psychologically, and emotionally, and financially. So I would argue if you're doing drugs or drinking, you don't care about your family. You don't care that much about your family, because if you die, well, think about, they're going to have to go to your funeral, pay for those costs. They're going to have to mourn after your death. And how can you care about them if you're dead, right? So how can you care about them if you're putting them through that suffering? You're putting them having to watch you struggle with addiction and being high all the time, or being wasted all the time, being strung out all the time, being angry, agitated, all that stuff all the time due to the drugs. How can you truly care about your family? Whether you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, a significant other, a partner, your parents, your family, your grandparents, and all that, right? So if you truly care about them, what you should do is give them, if you have any money, if you work, let them manage your money. Give them your money. Let them manage it. Send it to them via wire transfer to your bank, to their bank, something like that, right? Give them your money, transfer it to them, and they can manage it for you to make sure you don't spend any of it on drugs. Make sure you don't spend any of it on drugs, pills, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever, anything like that. And just to monitor for a while until you're 100% confident that you're going to stay clean the rest of your life. And that's how you truly care. That's how you truly show that you care about your family. You're letting them manage your finances, so there's a high level of trust. And then you're also letting them know to make sure you don't buy any drugs or alcohol, or pills or cigarettes or anything like that. And you want to stay clean. You want to change. You want to get better. You want to work. You want to have a successful career. You want to have a successful life and relationships and healthy relationships. So that's one thing. Now, I also want to say that anyone who's thinking about suicide, those are two things that are closely linked, right? Overdose of death and suicide, right? Because a lot of times they say, well, it was an overdose and maybe they wanted to die and they were tired of living and it was an overdose suicide, or, but okay, so let's just separate them. So it's an overdose versus a suicide. And even though they're kind of similar, So a suicide, you know, I've considered that in the past, just with my experiences, things I've seen, things I've done, and you know, things I've been through, and my whole life experience, right? A lot of trauma, this and that. It's just a consideration. It's like an option. Well, I wouldn't have to go through all this stuff I'm going through if I would just end my life. Well, the first thought that crossed my mind was, well, what about my family, right? So what about my family? They're gonna have to mourn after my death, go to the funeral, and then I won't be there to protect them or be a guardian angel to protect them or protect anyone else. So if family doesn't cross your mind, if the first thing that does not cross your mind is family, then that it's some people consider it a mental illness, and you know, and that they just end up taking their lives due to mental illness or struggle or trauma, whatever, PTSD. But if the first thing that crosses your mind is family, that should keep you alive in itself. That single thought, for them not having to mourn after you or pay for your funeral, or you not being able to protect them or be a guardian angel for them or support them financially, emotionally, and spiritually, you know, for the rest of your life, that you know, you need to be able to think about those kinds of things. um, and if you don't, likely, like, you might just end up taking your own life. So I would argue also that if anyone who commits suicide, you don't truly care about your family. And those are two things. If you're doing drugs, you don't care about your family, because if you overdose and die, how can you care about them if you're putting them through all that and you're going to be dead, so you can't care about them? And so if you think, if you commit suicide, I know veterans and all that, it's a very sensitive topic, because a lot of veterans and civilians commit suicide, and some people commit suicide in front of their own family. And that's the crazy part, in front of their wife and kids. They shoot themselves in the head. So that's severe. It could be mental illness, it could be severe PTSD. But if family isn't more powerful than that, if you don't have a love for your family that's so strong, it's unbreakable. Nothing can break it. You know, nothing can shake it. Nothing can even touch it. You know, if family is the most powerful thing in your life, then you're not gonna end your life. You're not gonna commit suicide. Nothing's more powerful than that. No devil, no demon, no mental illness, nothing can defeat that. Because I've been high out of my mind, I've been wasted, I've been drunk, and I've considered a lot of these things, and overdosing and suicide, and you know, a lot of times my family crosses my mind. My close family crosses my mind, and even though I've lost some family members, it's like I know they wouldn't want me to go down that same path. I know they would want me to be strong and successful and competent and be a guardian angel and a protector out there for myself, my family, and for the ones they left behind. You know, you have to be the strong one in the family to be a shoulder to lean on for other family members who are struggling and going through something. So you have to be strong. So if you do care about your family, you're gonna stay clean. Let your family, your parents, or a significant or partner manage your finances, so you don't spend anything on drugs, and also delete your social media, so you don't have any contact or communication with the drug dealers selling you drugs. Change your social media, make a fake name, an alias, so they can't find you. And I've done that before. I've quit heroin, which is very difficult, because you throw up, you go through withdrawals, and all these, you could possibly die from alcohol withdrawal or heroin withdrawal or opiate withdrawal, because it's just so potent. There's a physical dependency. And with that, you have night sweats, fevers, you'll have difficulty breathing, your legs will hurt really bad, because it's the largest muscle in your body, and it just aches so bad for weeks, sometimes months. And you just have to deal with it, not contact the drug dealer, and go broke, or give your money to someone you trust, not spend any more money on drugs, and just deal with it for a few weeks and detox. You go to a detox center. I just detoxed in a hotel, you know, for a while, and I got clean. I was like, I'm not doing that again. You know, there's no point. Why go through all that again? It's like, it's so difficult to quit. But if you could force yourself to quit, there's ways to do it. Just tough it out, right? Tough it out, suck it up. And the other thing is, so you can do it. If it's done, it's been done. They have detox centers. You can do the methadone, you know, tapering off and all that stuff. But you know, and also if anyone's considering suicide, right? Think about your family. That should be the first thought that crosses your mind. Your family, what would they think? how would they react? How are they gonna live without you? How are they gonna, so think about those things, and how they're gonna remember you and all that. It's like, if you want to be remembered with dignity and honor and respect. What on my tombstone, I would want something along the lines of like, you know, dying an honorable death is a noble death, right? Is a good death. If it's an honorable death, it's a noble and good death. And suicide is not honorable or noble, right? If you want to die an honorable and noble death, go out there and protect someone. I've had to go out there and help people in a car accident where my blood pressure was skyrocketing. Something I deal with. And one day I might die from a heart attack, or something like that. I might get shot, who knows? Or get in a car accident. But if I'm going out there trying to help people go to work or do something positive or try to rescue someone or something like that, if I die, in the process of trying to help others with my business or my message, then that's an honorable and noble death, right? So that's a good death. And suicide is not an honorable or noble death. Any soldier, any veteran, any Marine, any soldier or civilian, right? Or anyone in the military or civilian alike, I wouldn't even consider suicide because it's not honorable or noble. The whole purpose of being a soldier or Marine is to, if you do die, it should be an honorable death, right? People should remember you in an honorable, respectful manner. You should try to get the Medal of Honor. Now, if you're out of the military, try to get, just that level of respect from society, that you did something so noble and honorable that it's unforgettable, right? It's unforgettable, and it's so memorable, like people will just talk about it, things like that. Suicide, people don't get, it's not respected, right? It's not honorable. So try to do the honorable, respectful thing for your family, for yourself, for your legacy, and, go out there and do something positive, right? Try to start a business. If you're considering suicide, you might as well go all out and try to start a business, do something, write a book, create a website, do some recovery coaching like I'm doing, help others, fly out, do interventions, rescue people from their addiction, from their psychiatric, mental illness, get them some help in hospital. You could help a lot of people that if you're gonna die anyway, you might as well die in 100 years when you're 100 years old. And it's gonna happen anyway, so you might as well just wait it out, right? Whether it's a mental illness or trauma or whatever. So those are two things. Think about your family, think about honor, think about respect, and think about how you want to leave your legacy, okay? This is extreme content. I apologize if some people are sensitive to this, but these are sensitive topics, and that's all I have to say for now. Just, do the honorable thing for your family. The first thing that crosses your mind should be your family, whether you're doing drugs. If you care about your family, if you truly love your family, don't do drugs. Let them manage your finances. Cut off your social media. Delete all your social media apps. Don't delete all the phone numbers. Change your phone number. Leave the city and state if you have to. Don't communicate with the drug dealers. Get clean. Go to detox or recovery if you have to. Quit doing drugs. Start working. Make that money. Do something positive. And if you ever think about suicide, just think that that's not honorable or respectful, right? If you're gonna die, do something honorable and respectful and rescue someone. Help people. Join a rescue team. There's rescue teams out there. Search and rescue teams, right? Go out there and search and rescue people, right? From fires or natural disasters, rebuild, doing things like that. Do the honorable thing, right? And you might as well go down in history as a very honorable and noble individual, right? Who didn't succumb to drugs, who didn't succumb to suicide, who helped others, and you have something positive on your tombstone at 100 years old, right? So that's the message I want to leave you here with today. If you got something out of this content, let me know. Once again, my name is Don Miguel Castaneda, ex-Marine Sergeant, expert life coach, recovery coach, and intervention professional. As always, stay American, Semper Fi. Take care. Goodbye.